everyone, I hope we're all doing really well. Today I'm coming at you with a brand new video, and this one is going to be about how to stay happy being single. But before we get into the video, please make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button and that bell notification so you get notified every single time I post a new video. Now with Valentine's Day just around the corner, I want to talk to you guys about my personal experience of being single. I have been voluntarily single for 2 years, but I have obviously dated around. That has been super fun, but for the purposes of getting a boyfriend or a partner, it is a totally completely different thing once you get to know the person and start to build a life together. With my history, before I was in a 5-year relationship, and then back to back there was like a 6-month break. Didn't even consider that being single because I was doing my HSC in year 12, senior year, and then before that I was in a 2-year relationship, and then before that I was in like a 3-month relationship and then a 7-month relationship. Basically, I have been back to back in relationships since I was 15 years old. So I'm definitely still living my best single life, and I want to talk to you guys about where my mentality is and how you can do it too. Now, a lot of people see relationships, maybe subconsciously, maybe they don't realize this, as companionship, and they just don't want to be alone. And even though the match isn't compatible, what I need you to know is that you are the very few that actually hold yourself to a high standard and understand that I'm not accepting anything other than what I want and what is good for me. Because just like a toxic relationship, you don't realize how much you benefit from being alone without anyone else until you push that toxic friend out of your life, or you push that toxic partner out of your life, and you see how much it actually depleted your energy and how much you grew after that. And so you need to recognize this if you haven't yet and you are trying to avidly find a boyfriend or a partner or what have you. Boyfriends are just bonuses, and only if they are compatible with you, and only if they're your true partner, someone that challenges you in a good way, as in, girl, you better get your ass to the gym, or let's do that hike Saturday instead of sitting on the couch and watching Netflix. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Love myself some Netflix. But you need to find your equal and someone that wants you to be a better version of yourself, and vice versa. So you keep on constantly pushing and growing each other. Maybe one person is really good at finances and you're really bad at them, and you guys are compatible because you teach each other things in that regard. The other person might be more soulful and in tune with their emotions, so that person matches with the other person. That's the only way that I can agree that opposites attract, when you guys have this attitude of we want to grow each other and build and learn from each other and make each other better. Relationships are not just self-development, but you guys have to understand that when you're building a family, when you're building a life together, you need to have the most stable foundation ever, and a partner is just an extension of yourself. And so if you pick someone that is basically your other half, if you pick someone, not that I'm saying that you're half and another person half, you're a whole, the other person is a whole, but you guys make up this partnership, and you need to be very selective with who not only you spend time with and who you give your energy to, but who you are eventually going to be building a life with. Obviously, having feelings for the person and caring for the person and all of that, that is the most important thing. It's a given that you care for the person and you have true feelings for the person and you're meant to be with the person. But I believe that there are multiple soulmates and there are multiple people that you are compatible with, and sometimes someone's journey just does not align with yours and they are not in the same journey that you are right now. And if you match with a person that is on a different life path and a different journey than you, even though you have incredible chemistry and you have these deep feelings, even if that is the case, that person is not meant for you if their journey is either tying you down or you guys are going separate ways. Because ultimately you need to build a stable foundation in order to build your life, to build your family as a standpoint of living life. If we're not growing, we're slowly dying and deteriorating. This is coming from a person that has been in a relationship where you feel like, oh, it doesn't matter if you're not growing, it doesn't matter that you're not bettering each other. And then you wake up one day and you're like, oh, like it's not that I have been doing anything negative, but my stagnancy has led me to this point. Things in my life were slowly deteriorating, from my looks to my thoughts to the decisions that I made in my education. And so that is the scariest part. It's all fine and well when you know what you're doing, but it's so scary when you don't understand the importance of being with someone that wants to see you win, and not just that, pushes you on an every single day basis and challenges you to see you win. Not knowing that as a fact is the scariest thing, because you could wake up after 5 years and look at yourself in the mirror and be a complete different person. Take that from like 8 years of experience of being with different people, and especially in my 5-year relationship, being at a point where when I came out of it, I felt like I was a complete different person and I was not myself. Because a lot of women do this, but I'm not going to speak for a whole gender, but when I truly love a person, even when I like a person, when I'm interested in a person, I want to be able to relate to that person. And so I, also being a Libra, I latch onto that person's interests and wants and desires, and I sort of unintentionally mold myself into that person so we can kind of be one and we can do things that we both like. And me loving everything, I'm totally like that. Also, when I'm in a relationship, I'm so much about that person. You have to even your life out into different categories. Like, a lot of girls get caught up in just being with her man and then loses all of her friendships, and it's insanity, and you don't realize that you're doing it until you're out of it, or you have a fight and then you look back and you're like, what the hell have I done with my life? Or why have all of my relationships failed, as in friendship? Honestly, it's literally all about energy. When you realize when you're with someone and you don't have to try, and there's no energy being like used up, you feel depleted afterwards, or you are kind of unintentionally being someone that you're not. If you're not constantly encouraged, then it's a depletion, and it is a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. Honestly, take it from me. All relationships have their unique purpose. I believe everything happens for a reason, and you learn from every relationship and friendship that you have, of course. But in the sense of, if you truly want to have a boyfriend, you must realize first that you need to find the perfect person for you. Take it from me, you don't notice it within the first couple of months or the first couple of years. We come out of it, you're like, oh, I am a complete different person. If the person grows you, if the person encourages you to be your best self, if you guys both do what you want to do, and it's a loving, supporting relationship, and you feel like constantly when you're with this person you're becoming better and better, and your energy doesn't feel depleted, that's when you should be happy that you are in a relationship. But if you're currently single right now and you just want a boyfriend just for the sake of having a boyfriend, be proud of yourself that you have stuck to your guns and you are single right now, and you are not settling for someone who is honestly going to make your life worse without you even realizing it. And that is the most dangerous thing that you could possibly do. Honestly, I'm so just not thinking about that kind of stuff just makes me feel so free, and honestly that's what makes me happy to be single, because I could compare all of the energy that I have used on a certain person as opposed to putting all of that energy on me, how much it has benefited me to just put my energy into myself. I'm not saying be selfish, just think about yourself. But if the person is eliciting bad thoughts or something that makes you worry about that person, then it's not worth it. And I'm not saying that that person is wrong or is a bad person. It's just a compatibility. Your wants and your needs do not match with the other person's wants and needs. And I'm going to go so far as to say, it is not worth for you to be worrying about someone. You might think that it's a small thing, but like, how's he eating? How's this person's day? It is not worth it for you to care about a person unless that person is literally up to your standards and challenges you and is your equal. So if you keep on constantly trying to grow a man, build a man, you're not that man's mama, and you shouldn't be putting all of your energy into that. However, if the person is reciprocating the same energy, that is going to make you more powerful than if you were just single, because now you are building together. Do you see what I'm saying? And you guys become a powerful source. I'm here to say that being in a partnership is much better than being single. Feminists, I'm sorry. That has always been my opinion. That will always be my opinion. If you're single right now and super wanting a boyfriend, be grateful for your singleness, because you don't know how much energy and how much stress. You guys are probably sitting there like, girl, yeah, I do. I'm not even in a relationship, but I'm like texting with all these fuckboys. Yes, see what I mean? That doesn't change when you're in a relationship. In fact, it's even worse, because at least fuckboys, they leave. I mean, you'd hope that they leave earlier. With relationships, it's like everything seems to be going good, but just subtle things keep on popping up here and there, and you're like, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine, and then you look back after, it's like a compound effect. You look back and you're like, this has really been stressing me the hell out. Having a partner that you can build with, grow a strong foundation with, travel with, having someone there, that is better than being single. But you need a time and a place to be single. The amount of time that you are given to be single, that's all in God's hands. Like, I know people that have been single for 10 years and then they're in this perfect relationship. And I know other people that have been dating on and off for a really long time, and they're like, when am I gonna find my person? Another person that has just been faced with fuckboy after fuckboy after fuckboy, and then she's found her person. Or like me, that has been dating and been in relationships all of her life and have had no real issues and have had no real problems, no traumatizing events, thank God, or anything horrible happened to me, but just looking back on my life and reflecting and seeing how I was in relationships and the different person I was kind of molded into as I was with those different people, as opposed to who I am now. It makes me so grateful for who I am now, because it's like I've built myself. I don't have any advice. I don't have anyone telling me what to do. I have built myself, and I get to choose who comes into my life without that rose gold colored glasses stuff that happens when you start falling in love, because that can be very dangerous, honestly. Like, it's facts. It's facts. And so, going on to the whole single thing. Everyone has a time where they should be single. God gives you specific timelines of when you should be single. And those are the golden years, because think about it. In the future, if you do want to have children and are starting to plan a family, you will always be thinking about someone else. There's always going to be someone. And yes, you have family now to think about, and friends and all of that. A relationship and building a life with someone is different. Once you have that freedom and that experience of, hey, I don't have to think or care if this person doesn't like this cafe. I can go to this cafe, no problem. Or, hey, I can go to Japan and this person isn't gonna have a problem with me going to Japan. Or, I can post this photo and this person's not gonna have a problem with me posting this photo. And just those things that you might be thinking about, like, what is my partner gonna think? What does my partner say about this? The removal of that is what shapes you into who you are, because you have no one's influence but your own, and that is when you start learning more about yourself. And through learning about yourself, through going deep inwards, meditating, reading books, dating multiple people, having blossoming friendships, focusing in on your career, all of that, every single aspect of your life, developing a stronger relationship with your mother, focusing on fashion, focusing on social media even. Sorry guys, I keep on changing the lighting because the sun's going down and I'm like trying to make it look cute. Through finding your own self, that's when you grow into your own specific identity and your own potential. And when you get up to that level, the right person is going to meet you up there, and it's going to be fireworks. It's going to be something that you have never imagined in your life. So be grateful that you are single, because you are on that journey to leveling up. If you have a specific list or a type or someone that you want, like if you want someone ambitious, if you want someone that's financially stable, if you want someone that likes hiking and all of that, be that. Work towards that yourself. And through working towards that, you'll be able to be meeting the people that are also focusing in on that. This is just my personal opinion, but I want to find someone that is like my twin. Like, I want an identical person, because I see relationship as your partner and you make one entity, right? And so if you want to go out hiking and the person doesn't like hiking, it's like the two people have kind of split. Granted, it's great to have different hobbies and all of that kind of stuff. But does it make sense if you lead a healthy lifestyle and the other person doesn't? How do you think that's going to work in the long term? And so personally for me, I want someone that I can talk to about literature and history and like hip hop and things that I like, things that I enjoy, hiking, the gym, podcasts, self-development, YouTube even. It doesn't have to be all of those things. I mean, that would be great. I'm gonna get along more with that person because I don't have to exert energy and I don't have to explain in great detail to a person why I like this, why I'm going out at this time, because that person feels the same. If you're into clubbing and the person's not into clubbing and you have to sit there and explain it, like the person's gonna kind of understand, but because they don't, it's not them. Ultimately, like you can't find someone that is exactly the same as you, right? Even if you have the same interests and skills or aspirations, there's still going to be micro things that you don't agree on, which that's like an exciting part because you can teach each other things and grow from each other and stuff. I'm not saying everything has to be identical, but the innate things like activities, hobbies, things like this, morals, I need my equal. Unless you have found that, you should be so happy and so grateful that you're single, because after you find that person, after you start having kids, you're not gonna have this time to, I mean you are, but not as much as you do now. Take advantage of this time. Go out hiking and listen to a genre of music that you've never listened to before. Listen to meditative frequency music and just meditate and sit on top of a hill. You will always have time to do that, but these are the golden years of when you can deeply, truly go all in on yourself. And yeah, I hope that this made sense, and I hope that you guys are loving yourselves and employing self-love during the Valentine's holidays. I know it can be hard for some people, but if you have the points that I just raised in mind, I hope that that could, be helpful to you. I love you guys so much. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe and hit the bell notification, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!